Right, we're going to finish covering our model. This is the only part that is left. Everything else is covered, and I still have to stretch this bottom part. Now, we want to have white on top of it to this rib, then orange to there, and then white to the end, the opposite of what you see here. So let's begin putting the white bit down here. I've already cut this to size, and I can place it there and then find here where it will overlap the center, like so. And now I can just cut this there. Then we have the bit that we need here on the tip. So how do we put covering like this down? Well, we begin by taking the backing sheet off, of course, and then we lay it down here. I just make it sit along the rib. Now, usually when we put down something like this, we begin by tacking down one corner just a little bit. Then we can stretch it over to the other side, trying to take out all the wrinkles, and we tack down the opposite corner. Then we go like this, fasten the corner here, and then this corner. Now this is sitting sort of where it should be, stuck down just by these corners. Now we can start to tack it along the edge. So we just take the center, we pull it slightly just to get the wrinkles out, and tack it down. Then halfway, just pulling slightly. There will be wrinkles, but they won't be big ones. So now we have most of it tacked down, and we just fasten all the perimeter. Iron down the whole perimeter so that the whole bit is stuck down. There we are. Now it's sitting exactly where it should be. It's completely stuck down, and now we start trimming it and wrapping it around the edges. So I'm going to get myself a new knife blade. It'll take just a second. Here we are. Now we begin here in the center where this curve is cut out of the wing. Fasten it securely down, pull it just a little bit, and then we run this new knife blade like that. Alright, then we go along the back edge, the trailing edge. I pull the film over it and stick it down onto the trailing edge. Like so. Now we use a little trick. I take the knife blade and I lay it on the trailing edge and run it along the trailing edge like that. That way we get a clean cut and a straight one. Now I just fasten this down completely. Here we have the trailing edge that we want. The leading edge, we roll, we'll put the iron down onto the leading edge and then roll it up until it's 90 degrees to the leading edge, like so. This way we fasten it down and create a straight line exactly where we want it to be. Now we can use the same technique, just laying the knife blade down and dragging it along the leading edge, hoping to get a straight cut. Didn't actually do that now, we've got a little bit of a wobble here, but that we have tricks to cure this, so maybe we'll do that later on. Now we need the bit here, the white, and like so. We don't need all of this, so I'm going to cut some off. Like that. But this we do exactly the same way. Place the film where it's supposed to be, like that. Tack down one corner, pull it to the opposite corner and tack it down. And now we pull, not much, just a little bit, third corner, and now the last corner. Here we can pull it a little bit more to get all the wrinkles out. So here we have the bit sitting with no wrinkles to speak of. So let's go in the middle. This is just a small bit, so after we've done all the middles, we can sort of go along the perimeter and fasten the film down completely. Now, there's one thing, a little bit of coffee, and there's one thing that the film does which is really, really good. It stretches. Here's a corner and here's a corner, and we want to get the film to go around these corners without cutting into it. So what we do is we pull on it and heat it at the same time. Move a little bit, pull and heat. Good idea to have something to hold it down, heat it. Like that. So now, I don't know if you can see it, but here the film is going around the corner and also down under it. We can do that too here. Just pull it a little bit and heat it. And we don't have to cut into it, which is a great plus, because cuts always, well, they never look good. There we are. Now I'm going to go along the whole tip and stretch the film around it. And even though we have this compound curve, the film is going to follow it, because I heated and I pull it. There we are. Now we can fasten it down on top. Now we do the trailing edge the same way as before. Just stretch it across the trailing edge and fasten it down. Same thing for the leading edge. Hold it down and in this case roll the iron until it's 90 degrees to the leading edge. Cut it off. All right. Now I'm going to cut the film along the wingtip. Here's a little trick. You see, this is not straight. So we get a piece of film that we can cut. And I cut a strip of about a centimetre, 8mm to 10mm, like that. And There we are, completely straight line, and nobody's gonna know that we goofed. Do that here too. But first we have to put an orange patch here in the middle. Now this is too big, so we begin by taking a straight cut here. I can use the lines on my cutting mat. Yep. And now I can measure how wide this patch has to be, and it's 13.5 centimeters, 135 millimeters. So I mark 135 and 135. Transparent plastic film underneath this is very difficult to get off. Usually takes a couple of tries. There we are. And again we use exactly the same technique. Fasten down one corner, pull the opposite one and fasten it down. Pull a little bit, not much, and then the fourth corner. So now we have this orange patch sitting where it's supposed to. Now we can, because it's so small, we just do all the perimeter at the same time. Right. Now, the trailing edge, just like before, pull it across the trailing edge and fasten it down, lay the blade down and slide it across. Same here, roll the iron to 90 degrees across the leading edge like that, and then we cut it off. There we go. The film is on. Now I increase the heat just a little bit because now I'm going to stretch the film, but the only place I don't go is across this divide here between the white and the orange. Now, the air inside the wing wants to go out somewhere, so I get an awl and I make a hole in the middle. Now the air can escape and the wing doesn't have to blow up like a balloon. Now the last thing we do for this wing is I take this strip of black self-adhesive vinyl and I'm going to glue it here down on the where the white and the orange meet. Oh,